Hey guys, I hope you're all doing good. Special shoutouts to my subscriber Kyla Campbell. Thanks for always giving me a thumbs up and for watching my videos from start to finish. So a few months ago, I recorded this video of me fixing some underprocessed sections of my hair. I don't know if it will show here, but I'm gonna try. This part of my hair right here. Okay, so the root is straight. Here is straight. But right here has all of this texture. So these sections that look a little bit rough, you can definitely see the texture in it. Those are the underprocessed sections. Those are the sections that I need to fix, and that's where I'm going to be applying the relaxer. I'm just really going through and making sure that the sections that I am taking out to process actually need it. So my first step was to basically go through all of the hair on my head and to just separate the underprocessed sections. For me, this was the front section of my hair, but what if you have underprocessed sections throughout the entire head of hair? Then I would suggest that you still go through to get an idea of what you're working with, but make smaller sections that you're going to be working on. So divide your hair up in about 3 or 4 sections and know that you're going to focus on doing the corrective relaxer to one section, rinsing it out and start on the other section rather than tackling the entire head of hair all at once. The second step for me was to protect my fully relaxed hair. I tried to do all that I could, spend as much time as I could to make sure that those previously relaxed ends, those parts that are fully processed already, were not going to be over processed by me applying the relaxer to the underprocessed sections. I have a video up on my channel. It's called Before You Apply Your Relaxer. I'm going to insert it in the cards, and it basically shows you the steps that I usually take to make sure that the relaxer is not over processing my already relaxed hair. So I fully coated the bottom section and then I clip it up, and then I'm going to move on to the top section. So it's kind of a tedious process because I'm going to have to coat it right here. And I'm going to have to coat here and at the root. So this front section is basically my edges, and that part was okay. So I basically just coated it, twisted it up and tucked it away. After detangling, I coated the entire length of hair below the underprocessed sections. I basically spent the majority of my time protecting my previously relaxed ends. I just wanted to be so sure that if the relaxer touches those previously relaxed sections, I'm not over processing my hair. Once I'm done prepping my hair, the next step is to apply the relaxer. And we're not using a special type of relaxer here, just whatever you would usually use to do your retouches. I usually mix my relaxer with an oil, a butter, or some conditioner. If you want to see the details of how I do that, I'm going to link my Relaxer Day playlist for you and you can check it out afterwards. You want to be sure to start a timer or a stopwatch as soon as you start applying the relaxer to your hair. There is no real way to say for sure as to how long you're going to be leaving the relaxer on the hair, because it really depends on how underprocessed the hair is to start with, but still use a timer to get an idea of how much time has elapsed. And then when you're smoothing it through with your fingers, you will definitely feel the texture getting looser, but always be mindful of the time. As I hold the hair upright, I'm applying the relaxer to the front and back of each section. Then I'm using my fingers to just smooth it in. As I'm smoothing through the relaxer, I'm actually feeling for texture to see if I need to pull the relaxer further down on my hair or I need to bring it up a bit to make sure I'm covering all the underprocessed areas. As much as possible, try to make the sections thinner to apply the relaxer. I find that when you make the sections thicker, it's more difficult for the relaxer to get to the middle of the section, so thinner sections really work better. So basically just apply the relaxer to the front of the section, to the back of the section, and then once the section is thin enough, you'll just easily use your fingers to smooth it through. You don't even have to use a comb. You could just really make thin sections and use your fingers to apply the relaxer. You'll be able to feel the texture much easier, and then you can just move on once you've smoothed it through. So I'm just going to be repeating these steps for the entire top section. So let's talk about some of the reasons why I'm in this position to begin with. Why my hair came out underprocessed. When I did the relaxer retouch, I had a lot of new growth. I would say maybe between 2 to 3 inches of new growth. And when you're working with that much new growth, you really want to make sure that you're applying enough relaxer to each section of your hair. If you're not giving your hair enough relaxer to work with, it's not going to be able to process your hair well. And that's what happened to me. Of course, when you're relaxing your hair at home by yourself, sometimes you might not really see exactly what's happening in some sections. That's why it's really always good to go to a professional. But the good thing is when things like these happen, there are corrective measures that you can take to just fix the problem. I like to just go through and fix the problem as soon as possible rather than to be struggling with underprocessed hair for many weeks. Having underprocessed sections throughout the hair can definitely cause breakage because these underprocessed sections are oftentimes much drier and require more attention than the fully processed sections of the hair. I left the relaxer in for a total of 12 minutes, but bear in mind that I added other products to my relaxer to dilute it, so you'll have to decide what's good for you. Of course, I use a neutralizing shampoo to rinse my hair, and then I followed up with a protein conditioner. If you want to see the results of this corrective relaxer, check out my relaxer update video right here, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!
Then she met me at the college. Her friends play my songs and they been following me. Yeah, I don't like to do that much explaining and talking.